A woman never belongs to you. It's just your turn. Of course her parents don't have a problem with me being black. She's past the wall. Get your fat ass off the couch, start lifting weights, and learn game. You're welcome.
So you got drunk at a frat party, then fucked the football team? You're not a rape victim, sweetheart.
You're a slut.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 346th edition of TSR Live, your morning cup of red pill truth, wisdom, and awareness. It is Wednesday, October 24th, 2018. As always, we are presented by 1821manmade.com, your one-stop shop for all of your beard grooming needs. It is good to be back in the studio. Let's go ahead and get right to it. Guys ask me all the time via email, text message. Had a lot of guys ask me this at the 21 convention last week, and they asked me things like, Donovan, how can I get good with girls? How can I get better at talking to women? More specifically, how can I build conversational skills? How can I be as charismatic as you are? I get this question all the time. Now, I've never really tried to answer these questions directly because the truth of the matter is that nobody can ever be exactly like anybody. They can never be exactly like one person. What works for me isn't going to work for you in exactly the same way. We're all very different people with different voices, different mannerisms, different verbal and nonverbal nuances. And because of that, everything we do and say as far as girls are concerned are going to affect different girls in many different ways. But regardless of differences in our personalities, one thing we all know that girls are attracted to is, of course, charisma, moxie, charm. You don't have to be outgoing or gregarious to be charismatic. A lot of guys think that you have to have this big personality to be gregarious or to be charismatic, to be charming. No. Charm and charisma comes in many, many different flavors, comes in many shapes, ways, forms, etc. There's more than one way to skin the cat. In other words, you don't have to be just like Donovan to get the same results. And yes, I just referred to myself in the third person, as I often do. But there is something that a lot of guys who are really good with women have in common. And that, of course, is the subject of today's episode, a sales background. A lot of guys who are great with girls are sales guys, or they spent a significant amount of time in the sales industry. This is why Kevin is in the sales department. He's not Kevin in accounting. He's not Kevin in management. He's not Kevin in purchasing. He is Kevin in sales. I use myself as an example all the time. Anybody who's listened to me over the years know that I have an extensive sales background. And guys, listen, man, I've told you this before. I'll tell you again. I've sold anything and everything. Guys, I've sold cleaning products. I've sold home security systems. I've sold home improvement products like vinyl siding, windows, roofs, doors, etc. I've sold cars. I've sold magazine ads. I've sold cell phones multiple times. I've sold vacations. I've sold timeshares. Guys, you name it, I have sold it. Now, my sales background, and I cannot exaggerate this enough. My sales background gave me a significant head start when it came to running red pill style game. Even when I was blue pill, I always had the gift of gab, and that gave me a leg up on most of the guys out there. I've never had a problem with talking to girls and getting that initial attraction. It was the relationship part and the blue pill tendencies that tripped me up, as it does with most guys. This is why when I took the red pill, it took me a few months. It only took me a few months to get really, really good at talking to beautiful women, getting their numbers, and eventually starting to fuck them on the regular. I already had the charisma and the charm. I just needed a little bit of guidance to keep me from getting gut, and this is what the red pill ended up doing for me. So to answer the question, how can I learn to be charismatic and develop the kind of personality that is attractive to women? Well, the answer to that is to get a sales job. Okay? Get into the sales profession, get into the sales industry. Getting a sales job is the quickest and most effective way to develop the conversational skills necessary to get that initial spark that girls are looking for when approached by you. And today I'm going to talk about why sales jobs help you become so much better with women. Trust and believe. The advantages that I came in with, the advantage that I had, the leg up that I had as far as red pill game was concerned was my sales background. my learning curve was very, very flat because of my sales background, and I'm going to tell you guys why. That is today. My opening rant is brought to you by Happy Hippo Herbals, home of the highest quality kratom on the planet. Happy Hippo Kratom will give you an energy boost, laser focus, and increase your productivity, all without the aid of caffeine. Go to happyhippoherbals.com now and save 20% when you pay with Bitcoin. That includes your shipping. Matter of fact, I ordered some Happy Hippo Kratom for my brother. I ordered him, I think it was, I don't know what the strain is called, but it's the Hyper Hippo. It's the Mangda Green or something to that effect. And I've almost run out of all my fast strains, and I flew in from Reno last night, so I'm dealing with a little bit of jet lag. And so in order to sort of, get my edge without loading myself up with coffee or caffeine or energy shots, I kind of broke into my brother's Hyper Hippo. Hopefully he's not watching today. I'm gonna send him a good 75% of what he ordered. I just kind of jumped in there and stole something. It is good to be back in the studio. As you guys all know, the show has been a little bit erratic and sporadic lately. I haven't been on the air nearly as often, nearly as regularly as I have been, and that of course is because I've been doing a lot of traveling. On area code 951, I see you there in the queue. I'm going to get to you in just a second. As you guys all know, the 21 convention happened not this past weekend, but the weekend before last. I was privileged to be a guest and a speaker there. So of course I was there I got there on the 12th and I left on the 15th. So I was there from Friday to Monday, came back here to Philly for a couple days. Then I flew out to Reno to take care of some business, got back from there last night. And so during that time, my content, as far as my live content, has been a little bit sporadic, but you guys can be rest assured that Donovan Sharpe is definitely back in the saddle. I've got some unbelievable show ideas. I've got everything scheduled out for the next 3.5, 4 weeks. So you guys can be rest assured that I will be on the air Monday through Friday, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. And then, of course, I'll be doing the Brother Pill on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursday nights at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific at night. And then, of course, I will be doing the Red Man Group on Saturdays at either 10 or 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm back in the saddle. Everything, the schedule is going to be back. So all you patrons, I appreciate you guys sticking with me. If you guys have sent me emails, if you guys have sent me consultation forms, Charles Caballero, I know that I've got to consult with you. I also got a consultation form from another guy yesterday, received his payment. So I'll definitely be getting back with you guys. Anything and everything that I need to get caught up with in terms of consultations, getting back with you on certain things, projects, episodes, etc., etc. All of that is going to be taken care of here within the next few days. Like I said, I'm back in the saddle. The schedule is going right back to where it was before I had all this crazy travel stuff. Done a lot of traveling this year, guys. I've been to DC twice. Went to North Carolina, went to Atlanta, went to Orlando. Dude, I went to Florida earlier this year. I went to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I went to Atlanta, went to Orlando, Reno. So my frequent flyer miles are definitely going to stop. I'm staying right here in Philly so I can be here for you guys, continue to crank out the content, get back in the weight room, and get back into the swing of things. If you have a question or comment about how sales jobs make you much better than women, give me a call, 914-205-5356. If you have an unrelated question about girls, game, finance, fitness, or anything else that pertains to increasing your value and agency as a man, give me a call. If you disagree with anything I say or anything I've said in the past, you guys can give me a call too. But as always, I'm never holding my breath. Follow, add, and like me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just do a quick search for Donovan Sharpe on all 3 platforms to get access to all of my content. Go to patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. There you will find the entire archive of all complete episodes of TSR Live, both audio and video, so that you can listen on the go or you can watch at your leisure. You guys can watch my show live weekday mornings at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, but if you want to be able to rewatch or re-listen to the episodes in their entirety, I lost my place. Less than 17 cents a day is all it takes. If you like what you hear, if you get something out of my content and you want to contribute to the show, www.streamlabs.com/Donovan Sharpe, and the number 1 is where you can go. Again, that's www.streamlabs.com/Donovan Sharpe, and the number 1. is where you can go. I don't take super chats, guys, because YouTube takes 30% right off the top, which is a good business decision on their part. So if you want 100% of your contribution to go to the show, the Streamlabs link is the best way to do it. I appreciate every dollar, guys. Every single little bit counts. Now, if you're a little bit low on cash, you can still contribute. Just go to donovansharpe.com and shop through my Amazon affiliate link at the top of my homepage. By doing all your Amazon shopping through my link, you'll be supporting the show and it will not cost you a dime. Great way to contribute. If you are not a millionaire, if you're not a baller like Kevin Ibanez, Kevin in DC, the first person I ever physically met up with after I became the great Donovan Sharpe.
I had the opportunity of booking Donovan for 1 hour, and it was money well invested. Donovan is a student of human behavior, more specifically female behavior. If you have a question about game, Donovan will listen to what you got to say, and it is definitely worth every penny. He's brilliant, and he offers intellectual stimulation for anybody who wants to listen to him. I would highly recommend Donovan. Book your appointment today.
My girlfriend, Devin, gives me slutty, submissive sex anytime I want, guys. She does it all, and she never, ever turns me down. Ever. If you guys want to know how to get slutty, submissive sex from your wife or girlfriend anytime you want, or if you're a single guy, you just want to get laid more, booking a one-on-one consultation with me is the solution. Now, I want to make it crystal clear to you guys that I don't give my clients theories or ideas or say things like, well, maybe you should try this, or I've heard so-and-so did this and it worked. No. I advise men based on my own personal experience. I advise men based on what I've done in the past and what I continue to do to this day to get the sex I want out of my woman. Guys, I will give you actionable, real-world solutions that any man, including you, can put into practice today and start seeing results. And if there's any doubt in your mind whatsoever as to whether or not I know what I'm talking about, don't pay me a dime until you scroll through my social media feeds. Any idiot can get in front of a camera and say, well, my girl does whatever I want, whenever I want, but I'm the guy who actually proves it. Now, my consultations are not cheap, but there are a couple of ways to save a shitload of money. The first way is to become an $8 patron. As an $8 patron, you'll get access to exclusive articles and videos, but you'll also get a 40% discount when you book a one-on-one consultation. Now, the second way is to become a $25 patron. Along with exclusive articles and videos, you will also get a 30-minute consultation every month with me at no additional charge. So go to patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe to become a patron, or go to donovansharpe.com/consults. Book your one-on-one consultation today. 914-205-5356 is the number to call. Let's go to the phone lines. Area code 951. Thank you very much for holding. You're on live with Donovan. Go ahead.
What's up, Donovan? This is Charles Caballero.
Charles, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Right now, I'm just driving to a job right at this moment. So, yeah, wanted to call in.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Yeah, I got your I'm not sure if I have your consultation form. I'm pretty sure that I do. Of course, I'm up to my eyeballs and whatever. But yeah, you and I, we need to sit down for an hour and get this stuff banged out, man. By the way, guys, for those of you guys who are unfamiliar with Charles Caballero, Charles is one of the guys that I met up with at the 21 convention. Charles was at the 21 convention. He was there the whole time. Met up with him. Good firm handshake. Had a blast with him. So thanks for calling in, Charles. I appreciate it, man.
Oh, of course, man. Dude, like, one of my favorite things, or like, uplifting moments, was from that Sunday. After that Q&A session, I forgot who I was talking to, but yeah, he just, patted me on the back saying, good question. I appreciate that immensely.
Yeah, that was, well, it was a good question, because a lot of guys, and, again, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, Charles asked me specifically, where do you see, like, is there a trend in sports starting to wake up and trend away from the feminist narrative, from the social justice warrior narrative? So that was a very, very good question. A lot of guys don't really like to ask a lot of sports questions because they don't realize, either they don't realize or they don't really see the parallels between sports and the red pill, and how feminism and the red pill does affect sports. So that was definitely a good question. I appreciate you asking it, because it needed to be on camera. Like, that kind of question needed to be addressed at the 21 convention for sure.
Yes, indeed. So, actually, speaking of sports, I want to ask you this question.
Sure.
So, I know on Monday, Oakland traded their first-round draft pick to Dallas, Dallas traded their first-round draft pick to Oakland in exchange for Amari Cooper. So, my thing is, do you think Amari Cooper will make a chance to dethrone your Eagles this season?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think that, well, listen, speaking of, now here's the thing. I can't really jump to conclusions. The Eagles blew a 17-point lead this past, I actually was able to watch that game in Reno. We blew a 17-point lead, but the Eagles are still, even though the Redskins are 4-2, the Eagles are still the best team in the division. Right now, they're going through a Super Bowl hangover. They're not really as hungry. Does Amari Cooper put Dallas over the top? He could. But I doubt it. I think that now here's the thing. Derek Carr is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. And so I think, if anything, what Amari Cooper will do, if anything, it will show us who Dak Prescott really is, because Amari Cooper is a number one receiver. He gets separation. Des Bryant never really got separation, but he was that number one guy. But I think the Amari Cooper trade, it's going to do two things. Number one, it's going to tell us who Dak Prescott really is, and I think Dak Prescott is probably, his ceiling is probably not quite as high as we thought it was. The second thing it's going to do is going to load up the Oakland Raiders, dude. The next year the Las Vegas Raiders, they have 3 first-round picks next year, and they have 2 first-round picks in 2020.
Yep.
So they are going to be. Listen, I think John Gruden came in there. I think he had a plan. He knew it was going to be he knew it was going to be a little bit rough in the beginning. I think the Raiders are 1-5, 1-6, or something like that. They got their guy Derek Carr.
Yep.
Maybe they listen. If we know anything about John Gruden, I don't know how old you are, but John Gruden he's an impatient guy. He shuffles. He collects quarterbacks. Derek Carr's got the $125 million contract, so chances are he'll probably be there. But John Gruden will pull the plug on anyone and everyone. So yeah, Derek Carr he looks to be the guy of the future, but you never know with John Gruden. But I think it's going to load up the Oakland Raiders, or the Las Vegas Raiders next year. I think they're going to be good down the road. It's not going to be this year. The Dallas Cowboys, I don't know, giving up a first-round pick for a number one receiver in Amari Cooper. I think it's going to come back to bite him. But hey, listen, I'm glad about that because I'm an Eagles fan.
Exactly. Yeah, I had that because my dad's like a Cowboys fan, so he was talking about it. And of course, also I noticed this, like Jimmy Johnson pulled like the same thing when he started with his 5-year plan. So do you think John Gruden might make, probably not next year, but yeah, next couple of years, be contenders for the Super Bowl run?
It's possible, not likely. What Jimmy Johnson pulled in Dallas was and you guys should watch the ESPN, I think it's a 30 for 30 short. It's called The Great Trade Robbery. And what it details is the trade that the Dallas Cowboys, I think, traded Herschel Walker to the Minnesota Vikings for all of these picks. And what they didn't realize is that there was a clause in that particular trade that said, if the Dallas Cowboys cut a player that was traded for Herschel Walker, they then get a first round pick. Well, for whatever reason, the Vikings didn't realize this. And so Jimmy Johnson was cutting all these guys in this Herschel Walker trade, and they got first round pick after first round pick, who they used to draft Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, and Emmitt Smith. Nate Newton, Russell Maryland, and of course, the rest is history. They win, 2 Super Bowls in a row, 3 out of 4 years. So I think that situation is probably a little bit different, but will the Raiders be Super Bowl contenders within the next few years? Yeah, I think so, because the AFC this year is weak. It's Tom Brady and it's everybody else. The NFC is loaded, the AFC is weak. So if John Gruden knows what he's doing, if he plays his cards right, then I think they could be Super Bowl contenders. But listen, you got to watch out for the Kansas City Chiefs. They've got the real deal in Patrick Mahomes, for real.
Oh, dude, I've been watching him. That guy's a beast.
He is unbelievable. Charles, listen, I gotta cut this short, but I'm definitely gonna get a hold of you after the show so that we can schedule our consult. I appreciate you calling into the show, man, and we will talk very soon, my friend.
Awesome. Talk to you later. Thanks.
All right, brother. Charles Caballero, aka CC, aka the Man-Child, calling into the show. Always good to hear. What I was actually going to try to do, guys, and listen, shout out to Charles for calling in. I'm actually going to try to save the sports commentary for right at the end. I want to give the people what they want, but I know that there are a lot of guys out there who do enjoy the sports commentary. So I think what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start putting the sports commentary towards the end. So you guys are more than welcome to stick around for that. You guys know I like to talk about sports, but listen, I want people to tune in and, hey, listen, if he's going to talk about how sales jobs can make you much better with women, I want people to be able to tune in and hear me talk about that. So I'll definitely get into the sports talk a little bit later on. 914-205-5356 is the number to call if you have a question or comment about how sales jobs helps you to become much better with women. Before we get started here, let us check the chat. All right. And by the way, we are streaming live to all 3 of my YouTube channels. So I'm streaming live to 3 YouTube channels. I'm also streaming live to Facebook as well as Twitter. So shout out to my Facebook and Twitter audience as well. Josiah Johnson says, I'm here to watch a brother work. Appreciate that. And Josiah, I actually tuned into your 20 of your live streams the other day. You're actually, you're a pretty good talker. Very, very good talker. Reynaldo Betancourt on the YouTube side, shout out to you. Nigel Diggs on Facebook. Shout out to you. Jeremy Sears on the YouTube side says, hell of an intro, especially the fucking football team after being drunk at a party. Appreciate that. Moan says, sales equals game. Open plus vibing plus getting her to hook, point, investment plus close. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm not into formulas, but I'll buy that. Ryan Sullivan, good to see you in here. Moan also says ABC always be closing. Absolutely. BK from the Rocky says, man, YouTube is on some BS. I didn't get any type of notifications once Sharpe went live. Yeah, check that bell again. Check that bell again, dude. KJ Ford in the house. D Wees in the house says, a good salesman will always have a job. I've been in sales for over 20 years. Yes. If you are a good salesperson, you will never, ever be unemployed. Ever. Ever. Ryan Sullivan says, of the top 100 billionaires in the United States, 26 of them started off as salesmen. The best paid people in the world are in sales. Absolutely. Moan says, sales job is soul crushing. The target is always increasing. However, the payoff is good. Yes, sales jobs are not easy, guys. And Moan is right. Sales jobs are soul crushing, but I'm telling you, they forge you into steel. And if you are a good salesperson, you will eventually become good with women. We're going to get into that here in just a few minutes. Kai Mighty says, that hat is clean. Appreciate that. Make women great again. I got that at the 21 convention. Okay. Ryan Sullivan says, hey, Donovan, do you still own property in Nevada? If so, how do you manage real estate from afar? The answer is no. I do not. As of what is today? As of 2 days ago, I no longer own any property in the state of Nevada. That's actually what I went out to Nevada to take care of. That's a very good question. I've never managed property from afar, but when I did have my rental properties in Las Vegas, I had 2 things. I had an unbelievable property manager, and then I had a good maintenance guy. And those 2 people worked together in conjunction. So, dude, when I was traveling to Mexico, coming out here to the East Coast to maybe scout places, going down to Phoenix to maybe scout places, that definitely helps. So, I mean, listen, I'm not an expert in real estate management, but based on my personal experience, I can tell you that the best way to manage your properties from afar is to have a good property manager and a good maintenance guy that you can have on the speed dial. So that's my advice to you. Jay Spark says, growing a beard increases your sexual market value. It depends on the beard and depends on the guy. Eater Santos says, I can only hear you, no image. Not sure what's going on with that. Quincy F says, Donovan Sharpe is the best. Appreciate that. Ben Silverswig says, Oblivion Radio did hate speak against the 21 convention yesterday, and they blocked all Redman Group supporters. Just want to inform you, Donovan. Okay. I've never even heard of Oblivion Radio, so nothing lost. Nothing lost. I don't know. I might check them out. I know we're getting a lot of slings and arrows from guys about the 21 convention. Listen, I'm glad, because if you don't, again, and until you start getting haters, like I'm starting to get haters. I'm starting to get trolls now a little bit more because I have almost 2,000 subscribers on this channel. This is when you know you're making an impact. When you start to get pushback, when you start to get the haters, when you start to get trolls, this is when you know your work is starting to impact people. So bring it on. Bring it on. Dr. Sinister says, what? Car is trash. I don't know about that. I don't know. Kevin Ibanez says, Don, do you think the Eagles will trade for Patrick Peterson? You know, I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. That would be, I actually thought about that. The thought crossed my mind. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Frank Martinez in the house. Pines the Word in the house. Rob Cruz in the house. Josiah Johnson in the house. Marcus Brown says, this is definitely going to be an accurate show on the Facebook side. I'm an example of that. Rob Cruz says, my Puerto Rican Panthers ate those Eagles for breakfast. No, they actually had us for dinner. We had them for breakfast and lunch, and the Panthers won the fourth quarter, the quarter that mattered. Lone Revolver says, watching the Eagles below that 17-0 lead was draining. What are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? Joseph Israel says, good morning, bro. Sorry, I've been missing your wisdom. No, I actually have not been on as often as I was, but like I said earlier in the show, I am back on the saddle. And James on the YouTube side, good to see you in here. Let's get this party started. How sales jobs help you to become better with women. Well, the first way sales jobs help you to become better with women is you become immune to rejection. And when you become immune to rejection, this greatly reduces your approach anxiety. When you're in sales, anybody who's been in sales long enough, we all understand you're going to get a lot more no's than yeses. And a lot of times those no's can be rude. They can be very bad no's. Listen, I've had customers curse me out. I've had customers hang up on me. I've had customers call me names. I remember when I sold for a particular home improvement company down in North Carolina, we had this slogan called paper or porch. And what that meant is when you're selling home improvement products, of course, you're running appointments. You know, they have the canvassers go out. Hey, looks like your roof looks like shit. I got a guy, Donovan Sharpe, who can, maybe reassess your roof. So I get there, hey, I'm Donovan Sharpe. Heard you guys need a new roof. Eventually, they're going to let you into the house if they have a reason to. And that's a whole nother ball game. And right off the bat, that teaches you to be good with girls, because when you're running appointments like that for home improvement or home security, they know that once they let you in the house, that is a micro commitment. Okay. So if they know that they've got to replace that roof, listen, they know that I'm there to assess their roof, but they know I'm a sales guy. They already know. So a lot of these customers are very, very hesitant to let you in that. And listen, I've written and signed contracts right out there in the front yard, right on the porch, because they don't want you to come in. I've had people actively stand in front of their door to keep me from getting in the house, because once I get in the house, guys, I can look around at the pictures, right? I can look to see how many kids they have, what motivates them, what do you live for? When you get in the house, you're getting all that information, and customers don't want you having that kind of information, because they know the more information you have on them, the better you're going to be at your job. And I'm actually going to talk about this later. Every customer wants to buy. That's why they made the appointment, but nobody wants to be sold. They want to be able to say, I bought this roof, I bought this cell phone because it was the decision that I made, not because of some slimy, manipulative salesperson made me. So a lot of times when you run appointments, windows, vinyl siding, you guys have sold it all. Listen, getting in the house, that is a challenge in and of itself. That helps you with girls, because you have to be quick on your feet. People aren't going to let you in their house if they don't trust you. So again, building trust, building rapport. We're going to go over that later. So anyway, we used to have this saying called paper or porch. And when I say, shout out to Drew Bay in the house, who's making an appearance on the YouTube side. Drew Bay was on the Redman group, the third Redman group panel that I was on. I had never met Drew before. I had never spoken with him before. That was my first interaction with Drew on the Redman group. And dude, listen, the guy knows his shit. So look him up on Facebook, Drew Bay. I don't know if Drew has a YouTube channel, but subscribe to all of his stuff, because this guy knows his shit. So shout out to Drew Bay. That is DREWBAYE. So anyway, paper porch means once you actually get into the house. Paper means the contract. So you're either going to make the sale, you're going to get them to sign that contract, or you want them to kick you out. Right? So if you tell them, all right, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, your roof, after assessing all the roof and all this, your soffit and fascia, your roof is going to come to $35,000. Oh my God, $35,000. No way. A buddy of mine got his done for $16,000. Well, you want it done right, don't you? Right? And again, these are just sales techniques, but what you want to do is you want to keep pressing and keep pushing until they either sign the contract or they say, all right, listen, Donovan, I don't want to hear the speech anymore. I don't want to hear the sales pitch. Get the fuck out of my house. Now, that rarely happened, but that's just a slogan. Paper reports means that you stay persistent. You stay on the grind until they sign that paper, that contract, or they put you out on the porch. This teaches you persistence. This teaches you to deal with rejections, to deal with overcoming objections, and we'll talk about that here in a few minutes as well. One woman actually called me a shyster. She called me a shyster because I didn't give her a discount that she thought she was entitled to. I was working at a mattress company and she brought in a coupon from another mattress company. And I said, okay, well, that's from a different mattress company and that is a different mattress and a different brand. I can't give you well, don't you guys match coupons? I said, yes. But again, like this is for a Stearns and Foster mattress, right? Like we sell Serta. This is the Serta Beauty. This is the what was it? The Serta. It was the iComfort line by Serta. I said this is Stearns and Foster. Stearns and Foster, of course, is made by Sealy, right? That's their luxury brand. So she got upset and called me a shyster because I wouldn't honor somebody else's coupon for another mattress brand. You're going to get this kind of stuff when you are in the sales game. Right? The more customers you deal with, the more you deal with this kind of stuff, the more numb you become to rejection. Well, approach anxiety, guys, is rejection anxiety. If you got laid every time you approached a girl, if you got laid on every approach, you wouldn't be anxious because you're getting laid on every approach. Being in sales teaches you. It desensitizes you to the word no. It desensitizes you to rejection. Guys, when you go out and holler at girls, whether it's on the street or on Tinder or text game, most of them are going to tell you no. Being in sales helps you to understand what this is going to be. A lot of guys take the red pill and they think it's the cheat code, right? They think, oh man, I've got red pill game. Every girl I talk to is going to fuck me. Not the way it works. Not the way it works. And guys that don't understand that end up checking out early and they end up becoming bottom dwelling MGTOWs because, well, I did everything the red pill told me to do, but I'm still not getting my dick wet. They say these things. Having a sales job drills into your skull that most of the time, most people you interact with are not going to buy your product. Most girls you talk to are not going to give you their number. Most girls you talk to are not going to sleep with you. Being in sales teaches you that very, very, very quickly. Let's go to the chat here. I like reading the chats as I go through this because you guys are always very very thoughtful. Drew Bay says in personal training, after you ask what their goals are, you ask how they think their life will be better after they accomplish those goals, and those are the buttons you need to push. Excellent. Very good comment. You have to have them visualize, right? After you get down to 185 pounds and 12% body fat, how is your life going to be better? I used to do this in car sales all the time, right? What's it going to be like when you drive off the lot in this 2003 Audi TT? What's your life going to be like when you drive home in this 2004 Audi A4? You get them to visualize that. This is how you make. I'm telling you, I can go through so many sales techniques, but that's a very, very good comment there by Drew Bay. NYK31 says you learn how to get to the damn point instead of wasteful talk. I would disagree with that, NYK. Actually, no, I don't disagree with that. I'll put it to you like this. When you say you learn how to get to the damn point instead of wasteful talk, that's the difference between traditional game and mode 1. Mode 1, you're just talking. You walk up to her, yo, look, check this out. You look good. I assume you think I look good because you made eye contact with me. Listen, I'm not interested in nothing but fucking. Are you in or are you out? Right? Like that's the mode 1 approach. But you have there's no such thing as wasteful talk when you're selling high ticket items. If you're selling $70,000 and $80,000 vehicles, you can't go mode 1 on an Audi dealership. If you're selling $5,000 mattresses, you can't go mode 1. No, you have to learn about the customer. You have to learn what motivates them. You have to build rapport, and we'll get into that in conjunction with girls. Good comment, but I think that's probably more of a mode 1 approach. D. Wee says, as a salesman, I don't sell anything. I help people, quote, buy stuff. Very good. Marcus says, thanks for that episode, first year of what to do and what not to do in the first year of the red pill. Thank you. I got a lot of requests for that. And I'm glad I did that episode because a lot of guys were requesting that. Oh shit, man. Armando Moreno says, come on, Donovan. The real reason they didn't let you in the house is because you are black. Listen, man, I'm not going to disagree with that. Listen, most appointments I ran down at, and I'll say the name, it's called Dixie Home Crafters, right? That's the name of the company that I work for. Listen, a lot of people didn't let me in the house because I was black. Hey, man, I was in the American South. That's just how that goes. But again, you're going to have, and that's a very good comment, because you're going to get, if you're a black guy and you approach white girls, if she feels herself becoming attracted, here comes the shit test. Well, I don't date black guys. Just give it time, sweetheart. Give it time. Or you never dated a black guy like me. Or I don't date black guys. Well, I don't date white girls yet. Here we are. Right? You have to learn how to get around the shit test. Very, very good comment by Armando Moreno. Yeah, I'm fairly certain that a lot of white Southern families didn't let me in the house because I was black. That's just how it goes. That's part of the gig. And you know, and like I said, I have written contracts. I have called in for financial approval right there on the porch, right there on the front lawn, right there in front of the garage. They would not let me in the house, but guess what? They financed clear coat painting and a roof and 5 or 6 windows for $95,000. They took out a second mortgage. They had no problem giving me that information. They wouldn't let me in the house. I don't give a shit. Let me in the house or not. I don't care. If I got to stand out here and sweat my ass off to get that $95,000 contract and that $7,500 commission, then guess what? I guess I'm going to have to sweat my ass off. Good. Listen, very, very good comment. I like that. Very, very good. All right. Excellent. Man, you guys are coming with the knowledge. Coming with the knowledge today. Mr. Jackson says, Donovan, do you have any side hustle sales recommendations for a man with a full-time job already? Be a little bit more specific, Mr. Jackson. I think I know what you're asking me, but I want to make sure I answer your question. I want to make sure I answer your question thoroughly. Kevin Ibanez says, hey, mastering sales in a hostile environment like in the South makes you anti-fragile to rejection. Exactly. And you know what's funny? Kevin and Armando make very good points. I never really thought of how dealing with, people who may or may not have been racist, that might have helped me to become better with white girls. Who knows? A lot of white families wouldn't let me in the house, but I'll tell you what, they sure did finance a $35,000 roof. They sure did sign off on a $45,000 vinyl siding job. I didn't give a shit. I got what I needed. Straight up. All right, let's move along. Another way that sales jobs help you with women is it helps you to open the conversation and lead the conversation. Let me explain what I mean there. When customers come into your store, when you approach a customer, when you're door to door, whatever the case may be, when they come into your shop, your store, they're already unsure. Okay, now they're unsure of whether or not they want to buy from you. They're in there for a reason. They didn't just, listen. If you don't own a home, you're not going to have someone come out and give you a sales pitch on replacing your windows. You don't own the home, right? If you're in a 2-year contract with your cell phone, you're not going to call up AT&T or Sprint or T-Mobile. And I've worked for all of these companies for another contract, at least not back in the day. You couldn't get out of your contract back in the day as easy as you can get that out of them today. The point is that if they didn't need your product, they wouldn't be in there in the first place. People don't come onto a car lot if they don't want or need a new car. So they're there for a reason. What the sales gig, what the sales profession helps you to do is it helps you to ask those open-ended questions to lead the conversations. You ask, they answer, you're in control. Sales jobs helps you to master this art. A lot of guys, when they're out on dates with girls, they don't know how to lead a conversation. They don't know how to qualify their customers or qualify their girls, and we're going to get into that later. They just don't know how to have a conversation. They don't know how to lead the conversation. They're being led in the conversation. Well, how'd your date go with Susie? She talked about the Kardashians and talked about the fact that she was a foodie and talked about her best friend cheating on her husband. That's all you guys talk about? Well, yeah, I didn't really know what to do. Dude, you got to learn to lead that conversation. Girls want to be led. They don't want to lead. With girls, they're talking to you for a reason. If you approach a girl and she doesn't give you the immediate blow off, she's talking to you for, even if she's married, even if she has a boyfriend or a husband, if she gives you a time of day, she finds you attractive, right? She wants you to give her a reason to cheat on her boyfriend. She wants you to give her a reason to cheat on her husband. They're there for a reason. The sales job teaches you to ask open-ended questions. It teaches you how to lead the conversation. You do the same thing with girls. You ask, she answers. You are in control. Do not allow a woman to take control of the conversation with her asking you and you answering. Now, when they start asking buying questions, okay? When they start asking buying questions, then yes, you're still in control, but now they're asking buying questions just to switch gears here. So if customers start asking buying questions, well, yes, you're more than happy to answer those questions. How much is it? Do you deliver? What's the warranty? How many miles until the warranty runs out? Does it come in XYZ color? Those are buying questions. With girls, there are no verbal buying questions. What girls do is they display what Alpha Male Strategies calls choosing signals. IOIs, indicators of interest. So customers will give you buying questions. Girls will brush their hair back. They'll laugh at all of your stupid jokes. They'll fiddle with their hair or fiddle with their fingers. Prolonged eye contact. You have to learn to detect these things. What a job in sales will help you to do is it'll help you to recognize these things. And it helps you to recognize these things because you now know how to open and lead a conversation. Anybody can walk up to a girl and say, "Hi, I'm Donovan." But then they freeze like a deer in the headlights when she says, "Oh, well, I'm Katie." Oh shit, she actually took the bait. Now what? No. If you're in sales long enough, you know exactly what to do from there. Yeah, I'm just sitting here waiting for the bus. I noticed the ice cream shop right across the street. I've always been wanting to try those places, but I'm trying to keep up. I'm trying to keep up with my boyish figure. How about you? You don't look like someone who could afford to miss a meal or something to that effect, right? You have to be quick on your feet. You have to learn to open a conversation and lead a conversation, and the best salespeople absolutely know how to do this. Let me check the chat here. Marcus. Give me a second here. So D-Wee says, he's actually answering Mr. Jackson. He says, make sure it's an industry you really love, regardless of what you're selling. Okay. I hated home improvement sales, but I made a shitload of money doing it. Marcus says, doing sales also taught me how to conversate using opening question versus close. Helps the conversation flow better. It's now so nice and easy on dates the same way. I hardly have to say much. Bingo. Good example. Moan says, I was a credit card salesman at shopping malls, and it always feels like day game rejection. Sometimes it really stinks inside. Yeah, dude. And I've never had one of those, hey, would you like to sign up for a credit card or this and that and the other? But dude, those guys have a rock solid frame. They're getting no's all day long. If you're a mall kiosk guy and you're getting paid on how many credit card applications, how many appointments you can set for whatever faucet you have set up, for whatever gutter. You guys have seen all those, the gutter guardian setups at the mall. Those guys get no's all day long. Those guys are master day game artists. Trust me. Chris Hill says, absolutely. I sold Chevys in the deep south, developed thick skin. You better fucking believe it. Chris Hill also says, minorities have an automatic advantage in sales. Customers assume dominance because I'm black. I don't really know how I feel about that. Listen, in your experience, that might be the case, but I guess it depends on the region. How can I put this? And I see you in the call queue there, area code 407. I wouldn't say that being a minority gives you an advantage in sales because they assume your dominance. I think that having a minority gives you an advantage in the dating market because, and I've talked about this before, the assumed alpha advantage specifically with white girls. White girls don't shit test black guys as much because of the assumed alpha advantage. I don't know if that translates over to sales. I don't know that because listen, people don't like dominant sales guys. They like sales guys who are personable, affable. They need to be able to trust you. Girls don't have to trust you. How can I put this? It's hard to put this. And there are many different kinds of trust, but girls like dominant men. That's what arouses them. customers don't necessarily like dominant. They like confident salespeople, but they don't like dominant salespeople. They don't like the feeling of them getting bullied. I understand where you're going there, but I have to disagree that translates from sales game to girls. No, girls like dominance as far as black men are concerned. Being a minority might have its advantages, but the assumed dominance, I don't think, is one of them as far as sales are concerned. Good comment though. Oh, so Mr. Jackson clarifies. It says, Donovan Sharpe, I have a full-time job in the military. Do you have a recommended side job I could do that would put me in the sales mindset? Yeah, dude, sell cell phones. Dude, go to any there are all sorts of cell phone companies. They have like little Sprint stores, little, AT&T stores, right? A telemarketing job. Well, listen, dude, I've sold everything you can think of over the phone. You want to learn to be quick on your feet. You want to know how to deal with rejection. You want to get into that sales mindset. Any telemarketing job will quickly do that for you. Door-to-door sales jobs are also very, it's a lot harder to be a door-to-door salesperson these days. Dude, I've had 5 or 6 door-to-door sales jobs, and I was great at all of them. They were not easy. Tightens up your game really quick. So I would say cell phone jobs, telemarketing jobs, maybe door-to-door sales jobs, or maybe you can get into the big ticket items. You can be like a part-time sales guy. Well, not at Mattress Firm because they recently just filed for bankruptcy. But look for high ticket retail items. Those are my recommendations. NYKia 31 says, I also learned not to care about rejection. We used to have contests when we went out after work. We went out after work to see who could say the most outrageous things to women. You have fun with it and not care. Listen, man, what NYKia just said there, that is next level game. If you want to develop, thick, ironclad, forged skin to just become immune to rejection, yeah, do stupid little contests there with your buddies. Who can say the dumbest, most outrageous thing to a woman? We used to do that all the time in Vegas. And the point was not to get laid. The point was the reaction. Dude, sometimes we take out our camera phones and be like, check this out. Dude, we get all sorts of rejections. We get girls pouring drinks on us. We get girls calling over their boyfriend. Oh shit, her boyfriend's gonna kick our asses. Get the fuck out of here. This is a great game to play. Very, very good comment there. Very good comment. Drew Bay says, I wonder if that depends upon the industry. I think he's referring to the racial element, the racial component of the sales game. If you're buying a service related to becoming more alpha, the salesperson being alpha might be a form of social proof. Okay, I'll buy that. He says, for example, selling fitness training equipment, martial arts, self-defense. Bingo, there you go. So what, whoever made that comment, Chris Hill, okay, now with the caveat that Drew just pointed out, then yes, I could certainly see why. So if you are selling, workout equipment, or if you're selling motorcycles, anything that connotes sort of an alpha mindset that, yeah, being a dominant guy, yeah. Listen, you don't want to walk into a Brazilian jiu-jitsu studio and say, hey, sell me on, taking BJJ. You don't want some weak guy. You don't want him to be affable. You want him to be dominant and to the point. Very good comment there by Drew. Very, very good point. Very good point. That's a really good point. See, I learn something from you guys every day. Absolutely. If you are listening to the replay on SoundCloud, if you were listening on SoundCloud and you want to listen to the rest of this episode, head on over to donovansharpe.com or patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. Again, if you were listening to this replay on SoundCloud and you want to listen to the rest of this episode, you want to find out how sales jobs makes you much better with women, head on over to donovansharpe.com or patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe to listen to or watch the rest of this episode.